It was the third day, and the city still echoed with grief. 2 weary travelers left Jerusalem, hearts heavy, hopes broken. The one they believed in, crucified, buried, gone. Yet, beyond the rising sun, heaven had already begun to move. Step by step, they walked the long road to Emmaus. Each footprint carried the weight of sorrow. They spoke of loss, of confusion, of how the promised king had fallen. But what they didn't know, was that the king was walking toward them. A gentle voice broke the silence. A stranger drew near. His steps were calm, his eyes kind. He asked, "What are you discussing as you walk?" They did not recognize him, yet something about his presence felt like peace. They spoke of Jesus, a prophet mighty in word and deed, and how the rulers had crucified him. Their eyes looked down, their faith shattered. "We had hoped he was the one, who would redeem Israel." But the stranger's eyes held something they couldn't see. The stranger's voice carried fire. He said, "Was it not necessary for the Messiah to suffer, and then enter his glory?" As he spoke of Moses and the prophets, the words burned like light in the darkness. Their hearts began to tremble, not with fear, but with hope. Every word he spoke felt alive, like old promises waking from sleep. Though they didn't understand, something holy stirred within them. The road that began in sorrow, now glowed with unseen fire. The stranger walked between them, his face hidden by humility. But heaven knew, this was no mere traveler. This was the risen king, walking the dust of the world he had just redeemed. As the sun dipped behind the hills, they neared Emmaus. The stranger seemed ready to go farther, but their hearts couldn't let him go. "Stay with us," they pleaded, "for the day is nearly over." Little did they know, eternity was about to begin. In the quiet of a small home, they shared bread and stories. The flicker of a lamp danced on the walls. The stranger sat with them, calm, kind, and silent, as if waiting for the right moment to reveal heaven's secret. He took the bread, blessed it, and broke it. In that single act, the world changed. Their eyes were opened, and they saw him. The stranger was no longer a stranger. It was him. The risen Jesus, alive, shining, smiling. And just as quickly as he appeared, he was gone, vanished from their sight. Yet the room was still full of light, and their hearts burned with glory. The one who conquered death had walked beside them, and now lived within them. "Did not our hearts burn within us?" they cried. The grief that once crushed them was now replaced by joy that could not be contained. Faith had found its fire again, and the darkness could no longer hold it. Without waiting, they ran. Back toward Jerusalem. Back through the same road that had once carried their sorrow. But this time, their feet carried good news: the Lord has risen indeed. Torches flickered in their hands as they raced through the night. The stars above seemed to sing. Every heartbeat shouted the truth: death is defeated. Hope lives again. They reached the upper room, breathless and radiant. The disciples turned in shock as they shouted, "We have seen him. The Lord is alive." And joy began to flood the room like light breaking through dawn. Tears turned into laughter. Doubt melted into belief. The same Jesus who broke bread in Emmaus was now breaking despair in their hearts. Hope had returned, not as an idea, but as a person. They remembered his words, "I am with you always." Suddenly, those words weren't a memory, they were reality. The fire of faith that had died was burning brighter than ever. A new day rose over Jerusalem. The city that once crucified its king now glowed under the light of his victory. The tomb was empty, and heaven was open. And somewhere beyond the clouds, the risen king watched, not from a throne of gold, but from a heart of love. The same Jesus who walked the road to Emmaus, now walks every road of the broken and the lost. The road to Emmaus never ended that night. It still stretches through time, through every heart that seeks, every soul that listens. For when we walk in faith, the risen King still walks with us. If you like this video, then subscribe, like, share and comment yes.